What's good, everybody? My name is Hossain Yousif, and when school starts again, I'll become grade 7. And for me, reading books is an activity just to pass time, since I can read kind of fast. The name of the book I've chosen today is Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Rodrick Rules. I've chosen this book out of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid franchise since this is the first one I read. And as a matter of fact, there is about 13 books in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid franchise. It's pretty big. I have read about every single one of them since I first got introduced to the book when I was about 6 years old. So I really liked this book, so I bought every single one of them, though I wasn't exactly able to read the newest one. The author of the book is Jeff Kinney. Although he has only written Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, he still is an amazing author. He has written about, it's either 13 or 14 since the new one isn't out yet, but it might come out when this episode is aired. And he lives in Massachusetts. We do not know when he was born or how old he is, though we do know he makes about $20 million every year. The type of the book is fiction, and the genre is comedy. Some people consider it to be children's comedy, but I don't, since there are a lot of, let's say, mature content like blackmail, yeah. Well, there are a lot of characters in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book series, so every book the cast changes up a bit. So on this book, the main characters are Rodrick Rules, the older brother of Greg, and the leader of Loaded Diaper. Rodrick's band consists of 4 members: a guitarist, a drummer, a musician, and a singer. His band is a rock band, so the music is kinda loud. Well, no, I would not like to have my own band or become a musician since that's too much responsibility and I don't think I can handle that. I sometimes break down under pressure and that's not exactly good if you're a musician. Sometimes I like sculpting. Whether it's in winter, I sculpt with snow. If it's not winter, sometimes I sculpt with clay. This book has 217 pages, but it doesn't use a chapter system. It only uses pages like, page 17, page 18. It took me about 7 hours, which might seem a lot, but it really isn't because of how immersive the story is. But some people might reckon that it takes them longer because they can't read well. Well, don't forget I was 8 years old when I read this book. And, well, I read it quickly because after every paragraph there's a picture, making the book way shorter than it seems. But if I do get a new book, I'll finish it in the first moment I can. When I get home, read. When I'm at school and we have lunchtime, read. I read a lot if the book is new. It's honestly because of how funny and comedic it is, which, as a matter of fact, Diary of a Wimpy Kid isn't funny because of the jokes. It's actually funny because of the wacky events going on. Some of the trouble that Greg gets himself into, you won't believe it. Jeff Kinney is honestly amazing for even thinking of these stuff. I learned how to think on my feet since there's a lot of situations that Greg and Rodrick have to think on their feet to get out of. Like when somebody used a permanent marker on the bathroom door in a party, they had to screw off the door and bring a door from the basement. It also taught me a bit about forgiveness since at the end of the book, Greg forgives Rodrick for all the things he's done and they work together for the science assignment. My favorite quote from this book is at page 9 where Greg says, "I had to wrap myself up in toilet paper so I didn't get hypothermia." Honestly, I don't really understand what's so funny about it. Perhaps it's the picture under it where he's wrapped up in toilet paper like a mummy. It's just quirky, I like it. Well, I honestly recommend it because of how much of a good read it is. Some people recommend books because of the morals, but I don't. I recommend Diary of a Wimpy Kid because it's actually really entertaining. You can get lost in the book for hours. One time I accidentally stayed up until 2 a.m. reading the book. The biggest copycat of Diary of a Wimpy Kid is Dork Diaries. I've read about 2 Dork Diaries, which is not good at all. First, the main character, Nikki Maxwell, is an absolute Mary Sue. She always has the answer. She's always good. She never makes mistakes. While Greg, on the other hand, has flaws. He's mean. He's okay with throwing his friends in a ditch if it meant saving his own skin. Yeah, that's what makes the good so good. That character isn't perfect. He isn't a god. He isn't so legendary. He doesn't beat up bad guys with his thumb. No, he's just a regular schoolboy that has quite a lot of flaws. Today's reading tip will be a continuation of sub-vocalization. You know, the inner voice that slows you down while you read. And did you know that 90% of every word are actually readable by sight? So you don't really have to read some of those filler words such as okay, well, and other very minimalistic words. You've also noticed when people read silently, they move their lips. That's a bad habit that slows you down. Try to not move your lips while you're reading. They'll make your reading speed much faster. Thanks for being with us in this episode of Leaders Are Readers. Now, don't forget to read fast, read smart, and love books.